the thing about Vlogmas is you have to be awake to do stuff. And I'm awake but not awake. I need to wash my hair. I wanted to like pre-record a video. Just have like zero motivation for that. I just want to sleep. I tweeted yesterday that like this Vlogmas has been challenging for different reasons, and like it's more like a personal thing, because in my mind it's like it's easy to do what I do when no one knows, no one sees it, because I already deal with the feeling of like I'm not doing enough, I'm not being productive, and struggling with motivation, or like I don't know what I'm doing and I don't want to do anything, and then that's one thing to do it by yourself, and then another thing to put that out online and be like, I hope no one says what I'm already thinking, you know? No one says what I really feel, because it just feels a bit exposing. But yeah. I just want to sleep. And it's my fault because I stayed up from like 12 to 6 on TikTok. Just like laughing. I think it'll just be a chatty one where I just like chat to you guys, because I don't really know what else to do. I really was like planning on filming, but I really don't want to. And remembering that, I think it was a tweet, and a woman was talking about how when black women are depressed, they just think they're failing. And it's like, I feel that. Because I just do feel like, what am I doing with myself? Because I was so conditioned to like always doing things, always being busy. But then also part of me is like, really hates the idea of that. Really hates the idea of like I constantly have to do things, or have to be busy, and it looks bad if you're not constantly doing things or like working towards your goals and things like that. And it's like, but I've never really worked towards many goals because I just haven't. And I think it kind of goes back into a bit of like just my childhood and things like that, in the terms of if you feel like things are constantly changing, or like you can't really fully make plans because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow and it's going to affect your plans, you kind of have that feeling of like, what's the point of planning things, or what's the point of having these goals to work towards if you feel like, what is that? Oh, it's my wardrobe. I thought there was like a spot on my bed. That's my wardrobe. What is that? Yeah, it just kind of feels like, what's the point of planning stuff? And like, I can understand now I'm a bit of a control freak in some areas, because it's like, when you feel out of control of things, you want to be in control, and when you're not in control, you almost feel like you're going crazy because you're trying to like fight something that's, you can't win. Like, change is constant, change always happens, and I noticed, especially over the past 2 years, I don't like change. But damn, it is uncomfortable because change is constant, and I know that. Like, I logically, I know that. But mentally, physically, emotionally, I hate it here. Oh my gosh, I watched that Made series on Netflix like weeks ago, and it was so triggering. It was so insane to like watch something that doesn't reflect me in terms of what the storyline is actually about. Like the emotional abuse from her partner, having to like leave her partner with her child and living in like a mother and daughter's, like a domestic violence, like mother and daughter place, and having to figure out how to, you know, have that life. But I related to the fact that her lack of boundaries, the fact that she always does things that I was watching and thinking, why would you do that? That's just only going to affect you. Like, it doesn't affect anyone else. It's affecting you, and you have someone else to think about as well. And yeah, that was just so triggering. But I just kept watching it. I just kept watching it. I couldn't stop. But let me know if you watched Made, because I enjoyed it. As much as it was triggering, I enjoyed it. And I think maybe there's a bit of like, I don't know, like it's weird to enjoy things that you feel like you shouldn't enjoy because it affects you in some way. Yeah, I don't know how to do Vlogmas right now when I know I don't want to do anything, but I also want to stick to it. I also want to have the constant, like, I want to do something consistent. And like, sometimes consistency doesn't mean it has to be great, or it doesn't have to be the best. I think it's more about showing up. And I think that's why I wanted to do Vlogmas, because I wanted something that allowed me to, one, be accountable, and two, show up. And it means showing up every day. It might not mean showing up for myself every day, because I might not be like looking after myself very well, but I'm showing up, I'm here. And when I think about like looking after myself and stuff, it's like, yeah, Spirit, you need to do that. You need to look after yourself better. And there's times I'm just like, yeah, but why can't someone just look after me? Like, just look after me. I don't have to think about it. But yeah. Unfortunately, that's just it. That's life, isn't it? Essentially, when you're an adult, it's not that you're on your own, but it kind of feels that way. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to Monday so I can like talk in therapy. Because yeah, I think I need to see some things and see how she kind of like unpacks the things I'm saying, so maybe I can understand what's going on in my head a bit better. It's just hard because you have to now feel everything, see everything, be aware of everything. You can't pretend that you're not feeling the way you feel, because it's the only thing that I'm able to feel or able to notice, or anything I'm able to do realistically in terms of like, I'm not working right now, so it's just like I'm fully aware of how I feel, what's going on, and things like that, and it's overwhelming. I'm used to being able to like distract myself in some way, either like from work, like going to work, it's a distraction, or yeah, just other things, I guess. I can't wait for The Witcher. When is it? Next week then? Because next week Monday's the 13th. Yeah, next week. Good. I definitely don't want to go on medication again, because I don't think it really necessarily helped. I think it did for a time, and then after a while it just felt like a chore. And as much as like I know therapy is, well, for me anyway, therapy is probably better than medication. Like, out of therapy, that's why I need some extra support as well, because if you're only having therapy, that's where you're putting all your time and energy, or like you're just getting it all out in therapy, and then outside of that you're just holding it, because it's like, I'm waiting to the next session. And I know it shouldn't really be like that, because outside of therapy you're supposed to be doing things. So I think that's one of the things I wanted to speak to my therapist about, like, what am I supposed to be doing outside of my session? Like, because I feel like everything we talk about is just like me understanding myself a bit better, understanding my experiences better, and why I am the way I am. That in itself is really difficult to deal with, because you're essentially relearning or rediscovering who you are, because all the experience that you've had, or the things people might have told you or said about you, you're now like, what is true and what isn't? And a lot of it isn't true. A lot of the things that we think about ourselves are the things people tell us about us, and the experiences that we have that affect us. All of those things aren't always true to how we are or who we are. And it's kind of like fully believing that it's not true. And that's kind of hard. Yeah, it is. Like, my whole self-identity is like, it's kind of locked in certain experiences, certain things I do. And when you're no longer doing those things, you are going to have a bit of a who am I moment. Like, realizing that a lot of who I am, or who I thought I was given to everyone and helping everyone and supporting people and putting everyone else first. And then when you step back from that, when you're not able to do the same things as you was, you do feel almost like, who am I? Like, I'm not able to do the things I used to do, so who am I? But it's not a matter of like, who are you? It is a matter of now reminding yourself of what you want, who you are, in terms of, now that you have the space and the time to even answer those questions of who are you, and what do I like, what don't I like, where do I want to spend my energy, where do I want to put my energy and my time. Those are like questions that you probably wasn't able to ask yourself before, because you was distracted by other things, or putting your time and energy in other things or other people. And when you really got to sit with yourself and ask yourself those uncomfortable questions, like, and you don't know the answer straight away, excuse me, it's difficult. It is difficult, because naturally you want to know the answers so that you know what to do. So when you don't straight away just know the answer and you don't know what to do, oh, shea butter just like on my lip, like, cute. But yeah, when you don't know, when you don't have the answers, you almost feel like you don't know what to do next. And that doesn't help, because we always like to know what we're doing next. So this TikTok, this guy was like, how do you deal with the overthinking, with the anxiety, that kind of thing? And the guy was like, he read something that was like, don't think about the fact that you can't see through these trees, or you can't see the path. He was like, can you see your feet? And the guy was like, yeah, I can see my feet. And he goes, you can see your next step. And I was like, yeah. He was like, take a step. Just take the first step. And just keep doing that. And eventually you're going to walk to a point and be able to see what you couldn't see before. And you no longer have to think about what you couldn't see, because you're just walking. The focus is just on the next step. And I was trying to think about that, as well as my friend who does mentoring, who does coaching. She mentioned something she read about someone who has a 5-second rule or something. And you count to 5, and then you just do the thing after 5 seconds. And that works. It does. It actually works for when you need to just do what you need to do. But another part of me is just like, do I need a rest, or do I need to be productive and do the things I said I was going to do? Like, what is it that I need? And I think sometimes we probably struggle with answering that. Like, what do we need? How do we know what we need? Like, if you spend a lot of time sleeping, do you need sleep? Do you need sleep? But do you need more sleep? Is it the rest, the physical rest that you need? Maybe not. Maybe it's more the mental rest, so that you don't feel so tired, even though you haven't really done a lot or haven't expelled a lot of energy. Your mind's racing. So that in itself is work. is energy. It's because your brain doesn't work alone. Your brain works with your body. So if you think about it, like, if in that sense of like, if your brain's not working alone and it's working with your body, your muscles, your heart, lungs, all of these things, your brain isn't just a solo thing. Like, it works with everything. If you're constantly overthinking, that has effects on your body. So you're going to feel tired and worn out. It's going to give you that sense of like you're doing more than you are. You're doing a lot. And that in itself can make you feel physically tired. And it's I struggle to like understand that or believe that, because it's like, yeah, but I'm not physically doing anything. And we're so aware of like, we're allowed to be exhausted when we have physically exerted ourselves. Outside of that, how can you be tired? How can you be exhausted? But it is very possible. And if you know that experience, you know the feeling, you know that you are exhausted without doing that physical work, you will be like, yeah, I get that. Because it's tiring thinking about yourself, thinking about what you want, what your needs are, how to look after yourself. It is tiring when you don't do that, when it's not a constant thing, when it's not something you're used to, when it's something you're trying to learn again for the person you are today as opposed to the person you was several years ago, or months ago, weeks ago, whatever. Because we're constantly changing. Yeah. Chest feels weird. I don't like it. I think this time of year is a bit more acceptable to like slow down and rest a bit, because obviously it's that festive time and everyone gets to get together. Excuse me. So yeah, it's more acceptable to slow down during this time. But I feel like when you're in control of your days and what you're doing, it's kind of hard to like plan for rest and things like that when a lot of the time that you're in full control of your day. Like, there's so much time in your day that you're able to control it more. Like, it's literally 1:30. I've woken up and I was like, I don't want to do anything today. I just want to lay in bed. Wake up later and figure it out. Can you relate? It's just me. I'm trying to have a anti-capitalist mindset in a capitalist society is very difficult, because everything is kind of based on labor. Like, how can I use you for something? How can I get you to do something for me? And that feels triggering when you've not had healthy boundaries before. Excuse me. When you don't know what those healthy boundaries look like. You just was like, okay, I'd rather just not put myself in those situations. It goes for my thoughts on relationships as well, like intimate relationships, like romantic relationships. I don't really want them, and I haven't for ages. But there are moments when I'm like, it would be nice. But at the same time, I'm like thinking about where I am and who I am right now, and I'm like, it wouldn't be nice when people are crossing your boundaries or taking advantage of you or not respecting you, not communicating well with you, not being open and honest with you, not respecting your needs or even tending to your needs. Those things, nah, that's not fun. Yeah. I really want to talk about as well to my therapist, like me being very judgmental, but also knowing it comes from a place of fear, of knowing that I'm judging people because I know I wouldn't do that, because that terrifies me. That vulnerability, that you putting yourself in that situation terrifies me. So I wouldn't have done that. So in my head, I'm constantly like, could never be me, could never be me. But it's like, you never know. You really never know. And that's the part that scares me as well, because I'm like, I'm saying it could never be me. But I've never really seriously dated to be in situations where I'm like, with a dude and like probably overlooking red flags or probably just ignoring certain things, and then on the outs, like, time passes and I'm like, wow, it was me. It was literally me. I was there. Like, I just hate the feeling of that. And I think part of the reason why I am staying single is because I'd rather not deal with that. I'd just rather not. Like, I don't care enough about relationships for that. Like, when you've been single forever, and for me anyway, because some people are different. Some people want a relationship. They've been single for ages and they're like, I really want a relationship, and I'm just like, nah. I think when you're in that headspace anyway, it just feels like an option as opposed to like something that could change your life or add something to your life. It just feels like something I can take or leave it, and that's just how I feel, to be honest. It's probably not true, like, in a sense, but yeah, I honestly just feel like it's just a relationship. What's the point? Like, it's another person in your life just affecting your days, and I've got enough of that. But at the same time, part of me is like, I want someone to look after me. But at the same time, not. And when I say look after me, I don't mean in a financial sense. Well, obviously, that would be nice, but I have way too much pride to let someone take the wheel completely of my life or just look after me to the point where I do nothing for myself. Like, I'm way too proud to do that. So I, in a sense of look after me, I mean, like, I want someone to spoil me, and like, I say spoil, to me, I don't think it's really spoiling, it's probably just basics of like your partner, just like looking after your physical needs in that sense of like, oh, you need a day to like rest, cool, I'm gonna get your favorite food, so I'm gonna cook you your favorite meal. Or you need something, cool, I can help with that kind of thing. Because it feels like you're just doing it by yourself, and that is tiring. But I also don't want to put myself in a situation where other people are constantly thinking about me or worried about me, because I'm used to doing the worrying or thinking. So you see the problem? It can't work both ways, you know? Well, it can, but it can't. It needs to have like better communication and boundaries in place. But if that's not in place, then what can you do? Not what can you do, but what? Yeah. What am I talking about? I just wanna sleep. I don't wanna do anything. I think maybe it would be good if I just like film this and have this as today's video, and then have the rest of the day to just sort my life out, you know? Sort myself out. Because I think it's the thought of like I'm vlogging and I'm gonna have to film me doing nothing or something. That gets in the way, but it's just that internal battle of like, oh my gosh, people are watching me do nothing. People watch me being lazy. And I feel like I've always had a battle with the word lazy, of like, I don't want to use the word because of its negative connotations, and because I have so many reasons why I shouldn't be lazy. So many things that could change if I really put myself forward for things and did things a certain way and really excelled and made some good money. All of those things require me not to be lazy, but that in itself doesn't motivate me to not be lazy. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't, but yeah. Sometimes we just have to use the words as they are and not trying to like bedazzle a word because we feel negative about it. Like, if I'm lazy, I'm lazy. I've been okay with that for a while. And as ugly as the word sounds and as uncomfortable it is to say that we're lazy or you're lazy or I'm lazy, it's pretty much the truth. So anyway, thanks for watching me ramble. Yeah, you listen to me ramble. I appreciate it, and maybe this is helpful for someone else who's feeling similar or just needs to feel comfortable in where they are right now, or even just seen. It's so important for people to feel seen and heard, like so important, because it is so soul destroying when you feel like you're the only one. No one sees it, no one hears you. It is so upsetting. So I just hope someone feels seen or heard. Maybe someone can relate. Maybe there's some advice. I don't know. Yeah. Thanks for rocking with me, guys. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well so far. Yeah. Take care.